it's possibly harder for them because they just have no comprehension of what it's like to be in that situation, and they just...
Okay, so here is the submarine if you haven't seen what it looks like. Now, this is extremely small. They compared the interior of it to a minivan. I would agree. I will show you that in just a minute. But first, this is, you know, going to be a little shocking, but I'm going to show it to you. It's an expression of the pressures that would be a lot more than what I'm going to show you on the submarine. Okay, so if you take a look, you can see how fast, within just a second, this steel, I believe it's steel train car, just is demolished. It's just sucked into itself. The overwhelming pressure happens in just a mere moment.
One of my sources has reported that about the time that they lost comms, or just before they lost comms, that they reported they were trying to release ballast.
They were releasing the ballast. He's going to explain what that means, okay?
To me is they were heavy. They were descending faster than they were supposed to. So they were trying to get rid of weight. That's ballast. They were trying to get rid of weight. What could have caused that? Again, maybe there was a computer glitch and their thrusters got stuck.
Let's get into this. Here's the man signing the release form.
Listen to this.
An experimental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death. Where do I sign?
Where do I sign, right?
Where do I sign? Not me. I ain't signing that.
Right. So OceanGate Expedition Waiver explains just how experimental this design is.
Exactly. Extremely experimental. So let's take a look at what they were in. And you ask yourself, would you get into this? Take a look.
And this system, I know, is very good. I have no questions about the Teledyne equipment. It's probably the best thing on this thing that actually works. All right, so here's the pressure hull under construction. As you can see, it's just a carbon fiber weave that is just loomed left and right until it becomes 5 inches thick.
A carbon fiber, 5-inch thick carbon fiber. I would want steel. I would want metal. Like, maybe I'm dumb for saying that, but I don't think carbon fiber would be it for me.
It's a carbon fiber wrap that's designed to withstand the pressures of 4,000 meters of sea depth.
Okay, so here's what's a little bit controversial. Look at this. Just look at the way they put this together, and it's just mind-boggling. You'd think a sub would be put together scientifically.
Titanium hatch rings being installed on one of the ends. Watch this.
Massive shout out to Sub Brief. Subscribe
That's
to
the
him. He's
adhesive
great.
right there.
So they're putting on this adhesive. They're putting on this adhesive, and if you watch, they only have one chance to do this because once this thing is on, it's on. That's 5 inches of carbon fiber. This is a titanium seal. So this, they got one chance. Now, if you listen, Sub Brief actually praises how they put this together. Take a listen.
So they very carefully line it up. It looks like they got it right. So good job getting the hatch rings on. This is going to go on both sides, the forward bow and the aft section.
This thing is the size of a minivan.
Here's what the aft section looks like. The aft section, simply an aft dome that is placed on that titanium ring. On the front, there is an access hatch that we'll show you here in a second. But now I want you to watch this short interview that the CEO of OceanGate, Mr. Stockton Rush, had with Teledyne Marine representatives. Teledyne Marine are making the sonar systems and inertial navigation systems for this vessel. But listen to what he talks about. The CEO talks about hiring people.
This is the biggest controversy when it comes to this issue. In fact, I was going to show you several YouTubers criticizing them for this, but I'll just let you make up your mind, and we'll let Sub Brief show us. So massive, again, shout out Sub Brief.
Yes, I mean, when I started the business, one of the things you'll find, there are other sub operators out there, but they typically have gentlemen who are ex-military submariners, and you'll see a whole bunch of 50-year-old white guys.
Yeah, and he says this as almost a bad thing. How is someone's physical traits a bad thing? This is not a bad thing. You shouldn't be considering that. I just don't like it. I'm not going to criticize them on this. It just boggles the mind. That's all I can say.
I wanted our team to be younger, to be inspirational, and I'm not going to inspire a 16-year-old to go pursue marine technology. But a 25-year-old, who's a sub pilot or a platform operator or one of our techs can be inspirational. And so
Really, no, a 25-year-old really can't be that inspirational. You're talking about an advanced field. Why? Because of the danger involved, because of the massive forces involved. And so they gain the experience as they get older. In fact, why is it that we don't look at elders as, especially in these kind of fields, as the more inspirational person? I must be broken because I see it as the opposite, but go ahead.
So we've really tried to get very intelligent, motivated, younger individuals involved.
Who don't have any experience, who've never been on a sub, who don't understand. We're
doing things that are completely new. We're taking approaches that are used largely in the aerospace industry.
Someone asks him where he got the screws from, and he's like, Home Depot, man. Like, it'll be internet.
And some of the preponderance of checklists, things we do for risk assessments and things like that are more aviation related than ocean related.
Okay, so that was the big issue there. That was the issue. Now we're going to actually show you the controller for this. And yes, I say controller because he could have actually, if he would have used my Super Nintendo inspired 8-bit DOE controller to control this sub, it would have been way more professional.
PlayStation 3 wireless controller. I really don't have a problem with it being a PlayStation controller.
No, I do have a problem with it being, if it's going to be a PlayStation controller, can it be a PlayStation 5? What's the difference between a PlayStation 3 and a PlayStation 5 controller? One's like $10, the other is $70.
It could be any kind of controller that they want. I really have a problem with it being wireless.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys know who this guy is. His name is Josh Gates.
Well, Josh Gates, the host of Expedition Unknown, joins me now. Josh, thank you very much indeed for joining me. You actually walked away from an opportunity to film the Titanic down where it lurks in the ocean. Why was that?
Well, we were thinking about doing a special on Titanic and to work alongside Stockton and OceanGate, and we went up to the OceanGate headquarters in Everett, Washington in
So he met them and spent time with them a significant amount.
2021. So this was just a few months before OceanGate was set to take its first group of passengers down to the Titanic. And we spent a few days up there, and we went out on Titan in Puget Sound and took it out for what was effectively a shakedown dive, getting it ready.
I think Puget Sound's in like Washington State. I could be wrong.
For those operations in the North Atlantic. And, by the end of my time there, and I had a real, terrific time working with Stockton. I'm absolutely kind of just beside myself here listening to all this, just kind of taking it in real time. It's just, it's a lot to process.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's really upsetting knowing the men and them passing away, definitely.
But by the end of that experience, I just did not feel that this was for me. I really felt more than anything that it was nearly impossible to measure the risk of Titan as a platform. It was just almost impossible to measure it against anything else. It is such a unique vehicle. There's nothing else like it. And because of that, there's nothing to compare it to. And for me, it represented, frankly, just too much risk, and it just wasn't for me in the end. Yeah, I mean, I'm beside myself. There's something, I just sit here listening to this news.
As I was recording this, of course, the videos started to come where they now pronounced, unfortunately, and, a lot of condolences to their families that there's no survivors. Let me show you that, and we'll end this.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and over the past few days. This afternoon, Rear Admiral John Mauger will be providing an update on the most recent findings from ROV operations in search of the Titan submersible. He will provide a brief statement and provide the opportunity for questions after. Please limit your questions to one per outlet. Following the briefing, the Joint Information Center staff and I will be here to help you with any of your further needs. May I now please introduce...
This morning, an ROV, or remote operated vehicle, from the vessel Horizon Arctic discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the seafloor.
Okay, now, there is another part to this story, and I haven't bothered to deal with it right now because it's kind of messed up. Though there's a lot of TikToks and a lot of videos that are just inappropriate. I'll just give you a quick, brief example, and I'll let you know what their issue is, which is there's some really evil people out here on the internet, but Here's an example.
What is it with these billionaires in these tubes? Huh? We got a billionaire or other rich people in a tube, a sealed tube. Look, because they want to see the Titanic? You can just rent it on VHS. It's a 2-cassette VHS tape, my dude. These billionaires.
My dude. Okay. Yeah, this guy rants on and on and on. And like him, he's just an example of many people that are basically saying that because these were billionaires, who cares? Which is just wrong and evil. Though, if I find any that are worth breaking down, I'll upload it in a separate video. So now I've given you all takes from all sides to the best of my ability and let you know what the story is. If there's anything else, you'll find it here on UNIRock too. Keep an eye out on my live channel, Rock a Lot. We're on Kick at UNIRock and Twitter at UNIRocktv, and the TikTok, Instagram, all that is in our About section. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.